You're probably wondering why I'm out here, Bailey. And I didn't come out here to belittle you or to berate you. I came out here to congratulate you. Ever since TakeOver, the only thing I've been hearing is how me and you stole the show. And the only thing I've been hearing is how that match was the match of the year. But not only that, that was the greatest women's match this company had ever seen. And that's all great. That's all great for everyone except me. I didn't come here to put on good matches or to steal the show. I came here to be the best. And you're good, Bailey. At TakeOver, you earned my respect because that night, you were great. But that night only. For 3 seconds, you were better. But let's get the facts clear. You're still not me. And now I have even a bigger point to prove. Think you are the only one who has a point to prove here, Sasha? You think that I'm just gonna walk around, let you walk out here? I have a legacy that I want to start and that I'm proud to hold this NXT Women's Championship. If you're out here asking for a rematch, sister, I have no problem with that. Let's do a rematch, right? You can do it tonight. When you want to do it? A week from now, you want to do it? No. You see, I said I have a point to prove. I have a point to prove to everybody in the back that I am the best female wrestler in this company. I want to do more than just beat you, Bailey. I have a message. You want to send a message, Sasha? That's what you want to do? You want to see who is the best women's wrestler? You want something decisive? You want a stipulation? You want a 2 out of 3 falls match? Is that what you want? No. You see, I just don't want to beat you once. I don't want to beat you twice. I want to beat you again and again and again and again. Until every single person here realize that little fairy tales don't have a happy ending.
This is On the Network.
Hey everybody, this is Rich from On the Network. Or you're listening to On the Network, rather. God damn it, I messed that one up. Anyway, with me as always is Tyler David. Tyler, how are you doing?
Pretty great, usual. This week, my washer broke. I think I broke my wrist. And my cat situation is horrible. Probably gonna return her tomorrow to the vet, or to the pound, if I don't just throw her out the window on the way there.
No, man. What you need is like that guy on TV.
Oh, are you talking about the Cat Whisperer?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know his name offhand.
Yeah, that's who you need.
Yeah, I think it's a little beyond that, but you never know. Something good happened to me this week, actually, though. Um, I won a radio contest.
Really?
The wife and I were in a car, and I was flipping the channels and heard the cue to call. I was like, "Hey, give it a call." Gave her my phone. She called and won.
What did you guys win?
I don't know because she she gives the lady all her information and then hangs up, and we're like, "So what did we win?" She's like, "I don't know." So we were waiting for them to call and tell us because they were talking about, oh, it's this Saturday or whatever, and that's all we knew was it's whatever we won. It was something on Saturday, and so we were waiting for a phone call all this week, and then it turns out my kids unplugged my house phone, so probably not going to be going to that.
You should probably
Whatever
call
it
them up
was.
tomorrow and be like, "Hey, my kids unplugged the phone. We just realized that." Well, why?
Yeah, I could do that, but I don't know. I already got a birthday party I have to go to, so I'm gonna at least try to figure out what it was. Maybe I will go, but we'll see.
And the next question I have for you is, why would you give them your house phone number if you both have cell phones?
Because I don't like giving companies my cell phone because it might get sold or whatever, and then I have fucking advertisers and spammers calling my phone.
No, radio stations are usually pretty good about that.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just I usually just because I don't like them calling when I'm at work too because I always forget to turn my phone down, and I don't know. This is something I do. But we'll see. We'll see what it is. I think it's some stupid little radio station event they're doing because I've been listening to that channel. But I think that's what we won.
Is it MMS?
Yeah, MMS.
Is it their like boat thing where you just go out and get drunk on a boat?
I don't know. It could be.
Because if so,
That sounds like a good time though.
yeah, it is actually on the good time if I'm right. That's the name of the boat.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if that's
shit.
what it
If
is,
that's it. I'm gonna have to get a babysitter and look into that.
yeah, you should definitely figure out what the hell you won. So do you guys have any news to start things off with for the week?
Well, let's see here. Did you see that Bray Wyatt's sister tried out?
Yeah. She tried out in the Performance Center. No one really knows how well or how bad she did, but
This could lead to some big things if she did well. Have you seen a photo of her?
yeah,
She looks scarily exactly like Bo Dallas.
which and he looks a lot like his dad. Well, they all kind of look like his dad. See, that's what I thought. And then they posted a photo, like a Twitter picture from Mike Rotunda's Twitter, and they all look like him. Like a lot more than I thought they did. Like from memory, you're like, they don't look that close. But when they're all standing next to each other, you're like, I see it.
Yeah, he does.
He does have like the eye features, but like beyond eyes, like I would say like his facial features are very close to Mike Rotunda.
Another interesting fact is her name's Mika Rotunda. So their dad named her after him, and then Bray Wyatt's real name is Windham, which is after his grandmother or something. Thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that is kind of weird.
But hopefully that worked out because she could be the potential Sister Abigail in the future. Although Bailey would be probably the perfect person for that, but she would be great too because she's part of the family, and it would make sense. What else you got, Richard?
So there was a retirement this week.
Oh yeah, I
Layla.
saw that.
Yeah, Layla retired.
What was she even doing with the company still? Was she training?
No. Last time I saw her like in any kind of matches, it was like on Superstars and Main Event on the network. Like it wasn't, which is kind of a shame because she was a lot better than what they've been giving us for the past.
Was
like,
she still
year.
under contract though?
I
Or
think
was she doing indies or something? Or
no, she's been on WWE,
huh?
but it's
Yeah,
just been
I
on,
don't
like,
think I've
those,
seen her since I started watching wrestling again.
Yeah, it's just those small like wrestling shows that they have on the network, like Main Event and Superstars.
Okay.
So it's like the pre-shows for SmackDown and Raw, pretty much.
The pre-show of the pre-show, pretty much.
Yeah,
Whenever they just need someone to fill time.
yeah. Which is a shame because, like I said, like I thought she was better than other people that they've been pushing down our throats, like a certain champion. But like it makes sense. She's been there for like what 9-10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it makes sense for her to retire.
Yeah. Yep.
So we got some more on the Hogan debacle that we were breaking last week. That was hilarious. It's like we're recording a podcast at 2 a.m, and just out of nowhere, like Hulk Hogan disappears from WWE Network. We're like, why would this ever happen? Number one, and we kind of figured it out like as we went through the show, like for anyone that listened last week. But basically, as we all know now, he had that nice racist tirade that he just went for the gold on that one, I guess.
I think the fact that the documentation involved is a huge factor because, like, a lot of those older cases, there's no video of somebody raping or somebody killing anyone out there. Whereas with Hogan, you have that evidence right out there, and the whole public has seen it and can go to that any time. So I think that's a big factor.
And
if Booker T, if the video of him, if he killed someone in the past, and there was a video of him, he would have been gone too. It's what can be covered up and pushed under the rug, whereas there's no way to push this under the rug.
Right. Yeah. So, and also I think with the Hogan thing is it was on a sex tape.
Yeah, that didn't help.
Yeah. Yeah, and we've all seen like their policies with sex tapes. So I'm just waiting for Sunny to get the curb. Like the second that she signs that Vivid deal that she's been threatening to sign the past year. It's like if she signs that Vivid deal, yeah. But if she signs
give me money or you'll have to see me naked.
And you're still gonna give me money. Yeah, but it's like if she signs that, like I wonder if they're going to kick her out. And if they do, like I don't think it's going to be like a big thing because the only place that they have her in is like alumni and Hall of Fame. Yeah, so to get back to good old Hogan there. More stuff from that same tape has come out. And apparently now he's homophobic as well. Well, I'm not sure if he's homophobic, but he said some homophobic slurs. So things are just not looking good for this guy at all.
I'm gonna make a prediction. One of two things is gonna happen. Either Hogan's gonna kill himself here in a few years, or in maybe like 5 to 10 years after the time's gone by, WWE is gonna welcome him back with open arms.
Or he'll just die of natural causes, and there'll be a Hulk Hogan special just pop up on the network, and the 10-bell salute instantly. Because, I mean, how old is he now?
And then after they do that, they realize, oh, Hogan died killing 10 black guys. we fucked up again.
Oh, Hogan.
It's like they have to make sure, like, whenever a wrestler dies, they're like, okay, guys, make sure he died a certain way. We can't have another Benoit incident.
Yeah, so in other random news, this I actually kind of found interesting. This broke, I think, yesterday, maybe the day before. Yeah, so this broke like a day or two ago. Apparently, Brock Lesnar was supposed to be a gay character on WWE whenever he debuted.
Way back when, or when he re-debuted?
2002.
2002. Okay.
He was supposed to be a gay character, and the idea was pretty much just going to be Brock Lesnar exactly as he was whenever he debuted, but gay.
So how would they reveal that he was gay?
If I'm right, he was supposed to like kiss a guy or have a crush on a guy or something like that, from what I understand. But like they were looking at it and they were like, "Yeah, this is good. Like we'll have a progressive character." But at the time that was happening, that was also like, I want to say like that was the end of the good old like Billy and Chuck thing.
Yeah.
Which kind of backfired.
They can't even let their gay wrestlers be a gay wrestler in character. Like, I there's no way they would have done that, I think.
Darren Young is about to be a gay character. Are
they finally going to let him do that?
Yeah, Stephanie McMahon was talking about that at some point. So can we move on and some new stuff real quick?
Sure.
Sweet. So apparently SummerSlam is going to be 4 hours long. 4 hours.
Well, they got to make room for all the celebrities and shit.
Yeah.
Stardust versus Arrow. Have they announced that yet?
I don't think so. So Sting was apparently, or like he was like rumored to be one of the guys like at this SummerSlam. Yeah. And according to Meltzer, Sting is potentially off the card.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to see that third addition to the Wyatt family then.
Right.
Because that's who Sting was going to team up with Roman Reigns and Ambrose versus 3 people in the Wyatt family. Which I was looking forward to that because I like the Wyatt family.
And apparently, like Sting and Undertaker both did commercials for SummerSlam.
It would. You'd think they would get him on there, and then they could set up Undertaker Sting at Survivor Series. Unless they're just gonna wait to do that.
Yeah, so I have no idea, but like Survivor Series, like he debuted in WWE in Survivor Series last year.
Yeah, and Undertaker did 25 years ago.
Yeah, like I wonder if they're going to wait that long to use Sting. Because think
a whole year.
Yeah, think about how much money they're paying this guy, and he's doing nothing. You know, it's like,
he's probably not getting that much.
I'm sure he's getting paid more than we are.
Well, shit. Fucking everyone's getting paid more than we are.
That's true, but I mean, I'm just saying though, like he's getting paid more.
Get me a job at McDonald's so I get a raise.
But he's getting paid more than like the average, like guy. And yeah. WWE is just kind of like not using him, like at all. That's just kind of weird to me.
Yeah. He's semi-retirement. He's got one more match and then he's done.
Oh yeah.
Maybe 2. They might have him at WrestleMania as well. We'll see.
Might as well. Yeah, and let's see what else. Oh, this was actually kind of interesting. So apparently, like the Beast in the East was a success, I guess. Well, rather, it was enough of a success for them to decide to do more live events like that, but not just overseas. So now I guess they're looking to do that again, but somewhere on a beach.
Were they bringing Bash at the beach back?
Yeah.
Oh, really? Are they actually going to call it that, or is it just...
It's that idea. I don't know if they're going to call it that. Like, this is all still, like, like in the planning stage.
It'd be hard for them to pass up, I think.
Oh, yeah.
And then fucking just... Wasn't there a promo for... I want to say it was SummerSlam, where Brock Lesnar F5 the Shark. They already got the footage. Just reuse that.
That would be amazing. I have not seen that yet.
That was back when they actually did like pretty awesome commercials. I forget what it was. There was one where like Kane and Mabel, I think it was, or Viscera. I think, yeah, Kane and Viscera were fighting over a hot dog at a cookout. I don't know. It was ridiculous. They used to do some pretty funny commercials. Now that it's just the fucking this, you hear the same song 5 million times when they play the fucking the WrestleMania commercial with Seth Rollins' fucking cheesy smile at the beginning with that same song a million fucking times. That got annoying fast. I'm surprised they don't have a official song for SummerSlam yet, like they always do.
They have one for the NXT Takeover.
Yeah, I saw that.
So I'm sure there's one for SummerSlam. I'm sure they even talked about it on Raw, and I got the Hulu version of Raw, which means I got 3 or 4 matches, and like I missed a lot of stuff this week. Pretty much that happened.
Yeah, they cut out the Divas matches, I think you said.
Yeah, I got Paige versus Sasha Banks, but there wasn't another Divas match on there.
Yeah, you didn't get the tag match where Alicia Fox got a concussion, which I think they originally were wanting to do a 3-on-3-on-3 match at SummerSlam, unless they're waiting for Survivor Series to do that, which would make more sense, actually. But, yeah, she's going to be out for a while with the concussion.
Oh, that just sucks.
Did you see that Raw will no longer be replaced with the Westminster Kennel Club Dog Show when that airs every year?
Really?
Yeah. I remember, when I was a little kid, it's like, oh, okay, yes, we get to watch Raw. And then you turn it to the channel and it's fucking Dog Show. It broke my heart.
It's funny that you say that. Like, if I'm right, that was the thing that, so whenever WCW Nitro premiered, back in, what was it, like 96 or whatever? Yeah, 95. Whenever that premiered, that was the reason why they premiered that night was because WWE was not on the air because of a dog show or a tennis game. It was like one or the other, but I want to say it was a dog show. Yeah. So this is kind of cool. The WWE Network now has 1.156 million paid subscribers.
I think I heard they're really happy with it. That's $10 million a month in their pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Well, let's do some math real fast. Let's see.
Yeah. Yeah, so
I read that. So let's say a pay-per-view is $60. WWE has to pay the channels and all that jazz, whoever's running the pay-per-view, DirecTV, all them. They have to pay them a huge percentage. I think I read they get only about $20 out of that $60 in the end. So if they sell 55,000 pay-per-views at $20 profit each, that's only $1 million. So they're making a lot more by getting that $10 million straight into their pocket, guaranteed every month, versus who knows how many people's going to buy the pay-per-view.
Yeah, because keep in mind, the WWE Network is not yet, at least to my understanding, it is not yet worldwide. And when I say that, like, yeah, it's in different countries, but it's very scattered. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they need to release it in a lot of countries still, I think.
Right. Like, I don't think it's in Germany yet. I don't think it's in India. And the second that they go in those two places, like, just think about that. Just think about, like, the general population of India and how many people there enjoy wrestling.
I would like to take a minute and thank all of our Indian listeners, because I think they're our number one demographic at this point.
Yeah, like the past couple days, listeners from India have pretty much skyrocketed. It's amazing.
So WWE might make some money if they release in India. They
Exactly.
definitely have some fans.
Exactly. Yeah, like that's exactly what I was thinking was if they do that, once they get there, just let's just say like they get 10 million people out of I don't know the exact population of India.
It's like 1 billion.
Right.
It's up there.
Yeah, so if they get 10 million at 9.99, like that place has 1 billion. Like 1 billion people. So it's a no-brainer. Like I would have thought India would have been like one of the first places they would have went once they got outside of like North America. And they went to Japan and stuff like that. Like you get to England or the UK, you get like you start moving east. And India's like right there. Like after you get past Europe, just go a little south. It's right there, guys. Poor WWE Network.
I mean, I'm not that tech savvy, but what is holding them up?
I wonder if it has to do with like maybe censorship.
Oh yeah, that can make sense. And local laws and stuff regarding certain things.
Right. Or maybe they have like a really sweet deal over in India to show like Monday Night Raw and pay-per-views where it makes they make more money off of it there than they would elsewhere. Well, maybe they could start it off small like they did in America there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the WWE Network the first day it came out. And there was episodes of Raw, but there was like maybe like 10, 20 episodes. Yeah, it did have every pay-per-view. But over time, like the vault stuff like you were talking about has actually started to expand. Like it originally just was like, like Madison Square Garden matches in the vault. Maybe Legends of Wrestling. Like the vault was really empty. I'm trying to think of like all the things that they had in it. I'm gonna go check to see what is actually there. Because I could tell you like once I see what's there. Yeah, it had World Class Championship Wrestling, Legends of Wrestling, and Old School Wrestling. Or Old School. Other than that, like all this other stuff, like Saturday Night's Main Event, Primetime, Tuesday Night Titans, ECW, WCW Nitro, like all of that stuff is relatively new to the network compared to the debut of it. But yeah, it's so they could start off like just bare bones like that, put the pay-per-views on there. Throw NXT up there, throw Raw replays, main event superstars, and SmackDown.
Yeah, they don't need to put everything at first. Even if you just do the pay-per-views at the start and then release the new ones as they go.
Exactly. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder how it's set up like throughout the rest of the world.
Because I'm sure there's other countries that it's released in that don't speak English, so I wonder what they did with those, if they needed to translate or subtitles or whatnot.
Right, and on top of that, I wonder if it's like a TV station like you have up in Canada, or if it's an app like we have, like a Netflix type thing. I wonder if that was like a deal that they had with the guys that show like Raw and SmackDown up there. Do you guys have any other news?
No, that's all I had.
Our Virgilism of the week. He was asked to recommend a book for someone to read. His answer, 50 Shades of Virgil.
Good answer.
The guy is amazing. Like, he really is my hero, just because he has just no shame.
I still say you should shell out the money and go see him at the Blossom at the concert.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, like, I do like Fish, and I just don't want to pay $50 or $60 to get in just to see them. And then to talk to Virgil, I don't want to spend $20.
It'd be worth it, though. It's Virgil.
It would be. Just think about all the Virgilisms I would have whenever I came back. God.
Yeah, we could get a quote for the show. It'd be amazing.
That would be awesome.
Charge you an extra $50 for that, though.
That would be awesome if I could record him somehow saying, "This is Virgil." So to get back to wrestling, I think this is my last piece of news that I had. Stephanie McMahon joins the Children's Hospital of Pittsburgh's Foundation Board of Trustees.
It's just another way for them to get their favorite buzzword out there every week. Cancer, which I intend to do a supercut of all the times WWE refers to cancer across all their shows, which is going to be a monumentous task, but I think I might give it a shot. Half of it will be fucking John Cena. They referred to it like 3 or 4 times alone on the last episode of Total Divas.
And, so we're going to take a quick break. I think, unless you guys have anything else. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back after these messages.
Creature Feature, a bone-chilling podcast of depraved horror. Creature Feature. If you suffer from a heart condition, avoid Creature Feature. Chunky Larry plunges new depths of terror in Creature Feature. Listen if you dare. Available on Stitcher, iTunes, and Feedburner at geeksoftheindustry.com.
Movies need only 3 things: badasses.
You tell me what you want done, and I'll do the hell out of it.
A chick with drive who don't take no jive.
Boobs.
Do you know that the female breast, known to be the source of life since Eve, can be deadly weapons?
And body counts.
Body count. The mathematics of murder and menace.
The BB&BC podcast discusses lesser-known action, exploitation, and horror cult cinema. You can find the show on iTunes, Stitcher Smart Radio, and SoundCloud by searching for BB&BC Podcast. You can also listen to each episode directly on the show's website at badassesboobsandbodycounts.com.
Got the goddamn message? Let's go to work.
Wrestling Soup, motherfucker.
Wrestling Soup, motherfucker.
It's Wrestling Soup, motherfucker. Pay attention. Wrestling Soup, motherfucker. Wrestling Soup, motherfucker.
Like, this shit sucks, but I know it's good for me, you know.
Motherfuckers.
He kept on caressing Triple H's cock.
There's only 2 kinds of men. Ones that have raped and ones that haven't raped yet.
Yeah.
Candy had to go
Bust flip.
WrestlingSoup.com.
Come face the music with us.
Hey, I'm Joe.
Hey, it's Amy.
And this is the Face the Music podcast commercial.
On our podcast, we talk to musicians to find out what makes them tick.
So if you love music
and want to know more about your favorite local musicians,
then check us out at facethemusicpodcast.com.
That's facethemusicpodcast.com.
That's facethemusicpodcast.com.
So check us out every Thursday for new releases.
You can also subscribe on Stitcher and iTunes. Enjoy the episodes.
Are we done yet?
we are back.
Welcome back.
All right. What do you guys want to start with that you guys watched on the network this week? Tyler.
Yeah.
What did you watch this week?
Let's see. Legends of Wrestling. The specific episode I watched was on badasses. And I don't think we've reviewed this show yet.
No, we haven't reviewed this episode.
Or this. Have we talked about this show ever?
Oh yes. Remember the Michael Hayes conversation?
Oh yeah, that's where this stemmed from.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I watched the episode entitled Badasses. So it was Taz, Pat Patterson, Jim Ross, Michael Hayes, Mick Foley, with a round table discussion about who were the biggest badasses of WWE throughout the years. And basically they just talk, they talk about all the people, including they talk about Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, Gypsy Joe, Samoans, The Barbarian, Bruiser Brody, Harley Race, to name a few. You really just have to watch it because it's hard to review because they just talk about all these old stories throughout the years, which you can't really remember all those off the top of your head, but it was I enjoyed it. The best part was Jim Ross shitting on Michael Hayes throughout. They pretty much all were just poking fun at him the whole time, which was pretty funny.
As well they should. I love the way how Jim Ross always introduces everyone at the beginning of the show.
But there's some interesting stories they told, and overall I think it was pretty good. I'd give it around a 4, maybe 4.5 out of 6. I think if you're the type of person that likes to hear the backstory and the inside scoop of the wrestling business, you should give it a watch.
Oh, definitely. And usually, in those things, Mick Foley, when he does finally talk, because he's usually quiet most of the time, he lets Michael Hayes say stupid shit, and then let everyone else talk, and then Mick Foley will throw in just when I was a kid, this was badass. Usually. Yeah,
I forget exactly what was said, but there was one point where I think it was Mick Foley was telling an awesome story, and Michael Hayes just chimes in with the stupidest fucking comment I ever heard. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I don't feel bad for him.
No.
the shit on him is justified.
How was his facial hair in that one?
He had his little fucking skinny mustache. So I don't think it was too old. Even though I think I went back pretty far into the years.
Well, if it's JR, it's a newer episode. The original host was Gene Okerlund.
Oh, okay. So it might have been 2012,
yeah,
2011.
That sounds about right. Yeah, but just... Oh, those are so great. You really have to check out some of the Okerlund ones. Because they would do, specialty. The first episodes were really, I want to say, the first one was, Hulk Hogan and Roddy Piper. And they would just sit there and talk about it in depth. I really hope they didn't take that one down, because the Roddy Piper talk was amazing. But, yeah, Okerlund just... manhandles everyone, as opposed to JR just being shut up, Hayes.
Yeah. It's funny because Jim Ross is at the beginning, he gives the definition of a badass. He's this is a badass. And then later on, he's there's 2 types of badasses. And then later on, there's 3 types of badasses. And then later on, there's 3 types of badasses, but there's also a merger of the 2 kinds of badasses that sort of blend together. I don't know. I thought that was funny. But
the mega badass, according to
the
JR.
Mega bad. And it's funny because I think it might have been Jim Ross, but one of them said, I think they were talking about Harley Race, if I remember that correctly. But whoever they were talking about, they're this is the most badass guy ever in the WWE. If anyone wants to dispute that here, let me know, and I will go to argument with it. And basically, everyone's like, yeah, whatever. They didn't really feel like arguing about it. So basically, after that, they couldn't really say, like, oh, this person is the most badass, because they already went and said Harley Race is the most badass. So after him, they were talking about Undertaker. So they couldn't call Undertaker the most badass. They had to call him the most mentally badass. So like a whole different category. I don't know. It's definitely interesting to watch.
Yeah, so I'm gonna dive in here with what I watched. I checked out Click Behind the Curtain, and I don't even know what to think about what I watched for 20 minutes. It was really awkward. It was like, I guess it was like the first time in like a decade or something that all of them got together like that. And it was like you could tell, like, it was behind the scenes at the Hall of Fame or WrestleMania, wherever they were. It was during that weekend, though. And they were all just in a room, and they were just talking about the good old days. And you could barely understand what Scott Hall was saying. Like, when you could understand it, it was kind of cool. But
what you could understand.
Yeah, like there was like a moment, like I had to put the closed captions on just to see what the hell they were saying. But during this like 20-minute thing, they kept having this thing, like it looked like it was like from the 90s. Like, you remember like when you were like watching like a kid show, like back when you were a kid, and especially like in the 90s, how if it was like a live action or even a cartoon, like it would just go into like, I'm trying to think of a cartoon that did this, but it would just be like whatever show it is, cam, and it would just kind of like look like a shitty camcorder, and then it would go back to like normal, like whatever you're watching. They kept doing that throughout this entire 20 minutes, so it would just be like the click cam, and I'm like, why is this happening? Just fucking. These are a bunch of old guys. They're not moving around too much. They're all sitting down in one room. You don't need a moving camera.
You need the action cam. You don't want to miss anything, man. High intensity.
And X-Pac, poor X-Pac. He's like the odd man out. It's like, keep in mind, for those of you who don't know what the Click is, the Click was Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and X-Pac.
Sort of X-Pac from what I've seen. Like, he was never really part of it until later on, I thought.
No, like, he was there in the beginning. Well, it actually started, like, in the early 90s with X-Pac there. Because, like, the way how they were talking about it, because, the 1, 2, 3 Kid versus Razor Ramon, they had that ladder match, I think. Well, no, it was Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon. But they were talking about X-Pac being around in that time, and it didn't come off as he was like their little bitch. Like, it was just more like, yeah, he always rode with us. Like, you know, like we were like a small group of people that were always together.
See, because I watched Triple H's a video, I forget what it was called, but basically his life story. And he talked yeah, that might have been it. And he talked about the Click, and he never once showed X-Pac. If I remember that correctly.
Yeah, I have no idea. But the way how they were trying to make it sound, like he was sort of always there.
Huh.
And
I think they're just sort of throwing him in, but I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, what I think they're doing is they're getting ready to get DX into the Hall of Fame, and they have to get rid of China, so they're like, X-Pac, you were always, like, tight with us.
Oh, you think they're going to put the Click in instead of DX? That way he gets in and she doesn't?
Yep.
That's a fucking dirty move right there. So do you think So the whole Click thing was announced before the Hulk Hogan shit went down. Do you think they knew about it and just waited?
I would not be surprised. Because they're also releasing a Click DVD. Like, there's also, like, on the network, there's a first look of the Click DVD. And then there's their own special, like this 20-minute special of the Click behind the curtain. So I would not be surprised if that's what they're setting up to do.
When does Tough Enough end? Do you know?
I couldn't even tell you.
Because, okay, just throwing this out there. So let's say WWE did know about the Hulk Hogan racist rant. They kept him on Tough Enough, and Tough Enough was going to end before the case was gonna be leaked at the case for sure. But they didn't know that it was gonna get leaked early. So that's why Hogan was fine to be on Tough Enough, because they thought it would be over and done with by the time the case came around.
No.
So I'm thinking they did know about that.
I don't think they knew about the tape necessarily. And it doesn't make sense because this has been going on with Hogan since like 2012.
JBL just said he's got an announcement next week. That could be it. He's going to be the new judge.
I think it's Bret Hart.
Bret Hart?
I think. Yeah, I think it's Bret Hart. And that, honestly, that would probably be your best bet. Your safest bet. So Tyler, what did you watch?
NXT.
Ooh, NXT.
So, we had started off with Enzo and Cass versus Wilder and Dawson. Enzo and Cass, good as usual. Wilder and Dawson, not a huge fan of them. It seems like they're sort of giving them a push, I think, because they did end up winning the match, which I was surprised. I didn't really get that one. After that, we had Corbin versus Sorsen squash match. It was over in 15 seconds. Garbage. I still don't know why they do that every week. Then we had Jason Jordan and Gable versus Samson and Valuez Jr., or however the fuck you say his name. I think it might have been his first match there. Anyway, Jordan and Gable won. It was a good match. I'm impressed by Jordan and Gable. I love their finisher. Forget exactly what it's called, but Jordan throws him up into the air, and Gable catches him into a super backdrop sort of deal. So I think they're going to be good. The tag division in NXT is great. I really like where they're going with that.
Yeah, it's like, because Jordan's like one of those guys that he needs a tag team partner.
Yeah.
You know,
and
it's
Gable's
like,
a perfect fit.
Right, because like remember like when we saw him like in Cleveland at NXT Live against Bull Dempsey, that was at the beginning of like Dempsey's like, you know, I'm fat thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mix that with Jordan, who he should have been able, like, I would say like he was like the general or the ring general in that match, and he wasn't pulling it together like he should have. And now that he's with Gable, it's starting to click. Things are starting to click.
Yeah.
He's getting better on the mic, and they're really working out. It's like that weird, like, two personalities that are completely opposite, but it works perfect for each of them.
Yeah, it is a perfect fit. Jordan, he hasn't had the personality aspect. He definitely has the look and the skill, but Gable, he has that. He brings that personality with his what he's been doing in the ring. He brings that little extra to the match they need, and I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them go forward, and they might be title contenders in the future.
Yeah, I can see that, actually.
After that, we had Charlotte versus Dana Brooke. Charlotte ended up winning.
That was so weird. Like, did you catch the reason why that match even happened?
I think there was a quick promo, or was it had something to do with the commercial they did or something?
Yeah,
I forget.
it had something to do with the tap out commercial that Charlotte's in. But if I remember correctly, Dana Brooke was just a thing that was coming to NXT whenever that commercial like debuted. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was not even like an in-ring contender or anything. She was just, 3 weeks, Dana Brooke. And like, you have this tap out commercial. It's like, it doesn't make sense why they would put her on a tap out commercial when she was nothing to the company at the time.
Yeah. I don't know what they're going to do with her, because if she's just losing to Charlotte and Charlotte's about to go up to the main roster, I mean, I don't know where her character is going.
Her character is to ruin Emma.
Well, I don't know. Emma's got a little attitude. Got some I don't know. I mean, I didn't see too much of Emma before, so hard to say, but after that, we had Owens versus the Nameless Man, because he was basically just there to lose to Owens. Everything I've seen is just Owens is back in action instead of Owens versus whoever. So he just killed this guy. I like that they commented that Owens was fined for hitting Regal. I thought that was just a little off the wall comment to explain that whole thing. Versus WWE's usual method of explaining stuff like that, of just ignoring the fact that it ever happened.
Mm-hmm.
After that, we had Vaudevillains versus Blake and Murphy for the titles. And I thought it was a nice little match. After the match was over, I liked that whole bit.
I really thought they were about to hit her.
There's no way they were gonna hit a woman.
Yeah,
no way.
Yeah, like that's what was going on in the back of my head. I was like, she's taunting them. They're circling her. Are they actually going to do this?
I wanted them to.
Yeah. Yeah, like it was funny. Like, I was watching this and I was just like, how did you not do that? Like I know why they wouldn't do it. Like, I knew that it would not happen, but at the same time I was like, this might actually happen. Holy shit.
Overall, NXT was pretty good. I like the Vaudevillains. They've been improving. Their gimmicks grown on me. So we'll see where they go. They'll probably get from what I hear, Enzo and Cass are moving up to the main roster soon. So we might be seeing a lot of the Vaudevillains going forward against Blake and Murphy.
But you know who had a promo this week that was awesome? Bold Dempsey. Holy shit, that was amazing.
Are you talking about the Bullfit commercial?
Yes.
You can catch that on our Facebook. I think I posted that if you want to check it out.
Yeah, it was so good. Like I never thought I would be saying like Bull Dempsey is a reason to watch NXT. Just because his whole storyline and gimmick is I'm fat. And it's just really funny. Really funny. And like that whole promo commercial thing was just so cheesy and over the top bad that it was amazing.
NXT is really good about getting people over like that.
They are.
Unique storylines.
It's gimmicks that should not work at all. Like, you like look at a paper and go, that's a horrible idea. And it works.
Yeah, they probably went to Bull and be like, just be yourself, man. And he's like, well, I'm fat. Can I be that?
They're like, okay.
Give it a try. It's developmental. You got nothing to lose.
I mean, we could fire you, but, still, you have nothing to lose. Go for it, Bull Dempsey. Go for it. Let's see. This week I watched Armageddon 2002. So this thing starts off with a 4-way tag team elimination match for the tag team championship. And I'm going to be honest, like when I was watching this, I was up and doing stuff in my apartment. But this was the Dudley Boys versus, if I could read my, I can't even read my writing anymore. William Regal, Lance Storm versus Booker T and Goldust versus Jericho and Christian. And Booker T and Goldust is the most awkward tag team I have seen in a long time. It was good though. Like there was like a lot of good moves and stuff. Booker T pinned Jericho for the championship. And that was the first tag team title for Goldust. So that was kind of cool. The next match was Edge versus A-Train, which is Albert. And I'm going to refer to him as Albert because I refuse to call him A-Train. So Albert, he lost by DQ because he hit Edge with a chair. And then, you know, like after that happened, Edge picked up the chair and he just went crazy on Albert. It was pretty sweet. This was pretty good. This is honestly probably my match of the night. Eddie Guerrero versus Chris Benoit. And this match, there was a shitload of grappling and a shitload of suplexes. I mean, it was just like one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I remember why you guys were this big at one point. Yeah, like there was actually a part where I started counting the suplexes that Benoit was giving to Eddie Guerrero. And I lost count around 7, maybe 8. Like, it really gave, like, Brock Lesnar, like, his run for the money on what he should be doing with suplexes. It was pretty sweet. And talking about Brock Lesnar, Benoit won with submission with the crossface. So Brock Lesnar, so the storyline of this, like, that you saw, like, throughout the pay-per-view is Brock Lesnar was suspended, I think, for attacking Big Show or something. And this was kind of cool. So, the reason why I think it was kind of cool is just because Paul Heyman was Big Show's agent, or, you know, lack of better term, his manager. And Paul Heyman is worried that Lesnar will be standing in Kurt Angle's corner later on in the night. And it's just so funny to hear to hear Paul Heyman bitch about Brock Lesnar. Especially after, you know, for the past 4 years of just hearing Heyman just, like, talk about how badass Brock Lesnar is. So that was like a cool, like, little promo. And then comes Dawn Marie and a Tori Wilson promo. And the story that built up to this was pretty much Dawn Marie is engaged to Tori Wilson's father, Al. So I guess a couple of weeks before, Dawn Marie confessed to Tori that she's not only attracted to Al, but she's also attracted to Tori. Yeah, so leading up to all of this, she got Tori Wilson to meet her at a hotel room where she filmed a video of them together, and she promised the entire WWE universe, or whatever they called them at that time, that they were going to have this video played. And Tori Wilson never came, so Dawn Marie just played it. And Al Wilson's getting mad, tells him to stop. But, yeah, so you get to see Dawn Marie and Tori Wilson kiss for a second and stand around in lingerie. And then Dawn Marie talks about how they fucked. Pretty much. The next match was Batista vs. Kane. Ric Flair was with Batista. This match wasn't horrible. It wasn't great. It was just, it was a match. Batista won by pinfall. Let's see. Women's title match. Trish versus Victoria, who was the champion, versus Jacqueline. It really wasn't bad. And this was for the women's title. And this match actually had a couple cool spots, but the way how it ended was Trish was pinning Jacqueline, and whenever the ref was looking away, Victoria hit Trish while she was pinning Jacqueline. So Trish fell to the side. Like, she hit her with the belt. So Trish fell to the side. And whenever that happened, Victoria went in for the pin, and she retained the title. So coming up next is Kurt Angle. He talked to Brock Lesnar about being in his corner, and Lesnar was like, "Oh, don't worry, you're going to love whatever happens tonight." And they show you the Lesnar suspended montage, and I guess Armageddon 2002 was his return after his suspension, which also added to the story and drama of that. And then Angle vs. Big Show happened. Angle won, and I don't remember Lesnar coming out. Like, it was just like a whole bunch of build-up and just like, part-timer. It's like even then, because I mean 2002, that's when like Lesnar debuted. Like, he's still a rookie, quote unquote, and he's already picking up the part-timer like habits. It was amazing. And then came the main event, which was Shawn Michaels versus Triple H in a 2 out of 3 falls. Just insanity. Yeah, I'll just call it insanity. It just started off with a street fight. That was cool. And then it became a cage fight. Also cool. And then it became a ladder match. And I mean, really, like, this match had a lot of just insane things. Triple H, got the old razor blade out at one point. I mean, when I say razor blade, I mean he got hit in the head with a 2x4 that had barbed wire, and the 2x4 was on fire, and all that happened was he was bleeding from his forehead. That made no sense to me. I don't even remember where the fire...
Well, would you want him to catch on fire?
Yeah, like, it was just, like, weird. Like, the way how he got hit, I don't even know why it was on fire or why there was barbed wire.
To look badass.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, so that was really cool. Triple H did win it. He climbed the ladder. And that was the pay-per-view. All right, so Total Divas, huh? Jesus. Where do you want to start with this?
How about should we start where she gets 20 cats or where she goes to the strip club?
So pretty much what happened with the cats was, I guess an animal shelter was running out of room for a couple cats. And Natty works with the animal shelter. Makes sense. And they were like, hey, can you take some of these cats for us? And people will come by and they'll pick them up sooner or later. Natty's like, sure. And Natty's telling TJ, yeah, a couple cats. TJ's like, okay, it's just a couple cats. Not a big deal. It's just a couple cats. And these ladies from the animal shelter come with, like, 18 cats. 18 of them.
And at no point does she say, you never told me 18. I don't think I can do this. She just lets them keep on bringing them in.
And TJ's just sitting there. And you know how pissed off he was with the dominatrix? same kind of anger. Just what the fuck are you doing, Natty? Like, his face, like, that's all it said.
It's got to be a work.
It does. But this is the best part. So they put them all on the back porch, which is a screened in with a lanai, just a back porch. They have a swimming pool back there. They're in Florida, I think. So, this is a perfect, it makes sense, the setting. And there's this one cat that finds a hole in one of the screens. And he gets out. Around this time, Natty's parents come. All I'm going to say is, whoever thought that Jim Neidhart would be the one to speak common sense?
The cat gets out and he's like, "It's gone. It's gone. Just deal with it."
He's like, you have a swamp in your backyard. There's alligators back there. I'm not going to go look for this cat. And Natty's having a little bitch fit about it. She's like, we have to go find it. And TJ's just like, well, can't we just buy another cat and they'll never know the difference? She's like, no, we can't buy another cat. And Jim Neidhart's just like, it's gone. So the other thing that happened with Natty, pretty much I would call this episode of Total Divas called Natty Doesn't Say No. So after event somewhere, I'm not sure if it was a Raw, SmackDown, or just a house show, but after a thing, Titus O'Neil, Adam Rose, and Heath Slater, I guess their car, something happened to their car, and they didn't have it. I guess the rental place messed up, or they messed up, or... By the way, they needed a ride to the next town. And with that going on, So, they're all in this car, and TJ's like, no, I don't want this. No, I don't want this. And Natty's like, sure, this will be fun. And Heath Slater, they get to a certain town, and Heath Slater's like, oh, we have to stop at this restaurant. My friends own this restaurant. And they're like, okay, sure. And they get there, and it's a strip club. And Heath Slater's friends are not there. I don't think he has friends there unless the strippers are his friends.
Well, I think didn't he say the name of the bar is Buddy? Buddy's Bar. So
yeah.
He's like, I'm going to my buddy's bar.
Yeah, something like that.
And that's the name of the bar. Was the excuse.
Yeah, so TJ got all pissed off about that. As to be expected. It was amazing.
The guy has a solid case of yeah, I agree with him. Natty is really fucking pushing his buttons. I gotta take his side on this one. It's all a work, probably.
Yeah, but I just have this weird feeling that Natty really does. I think what we're seeing on the show is a magnified version of Natty. Well, the reason why I say this, I was listening to Wrestling Soup one day, and they were talking about her in podcast interviews. Outside of WWE, just she'll be on a friend's podcast or a Jericho podcast, or but she'll do different podcasts, and they'll be talking to her, and just the stuff that she says, you're just you're wrong. What happened to you, Natty? You were so nice and normal, and now you're just starting to become unhinged. Yeah.
I don't know. Tyson, he loves cats, so part of me is he's probably happy he has 20 cats. I don't know. The guy comes down with wrestling attire with cats on it.
Yeah, but even then, right. 20 cats is too much. Just too much. He he was not happy at all in this episode. And that's pretty much what the moral of the story is TJ is never happy because Nettie does stupid shit. Like every episode, like that's pretty much what's going to happen. Then that's only like 1/3 of the stories that are happening on this show. Then you have Paige and Alicia Fox. And apparently they were supposed to rent a house or buy a house together. I think it was rent a house together. Which I don't understand why they would get a place together. But yeah, it doesn't make sense. Like, if you think about the amount of money that they're making, why you would be like, I need a roommate. Especially like Alicia Fox. Like, how old is she? So, Paige is like all excited about getting this place with her. And then Paige has a new boyfriend who's also in a rock band. From the last time that we saw Paige with a boyfriend who was in a rock band. But this new boyfriend decides, hey, let's move in together. So she says yes, and then she has to go tell Alicia Fox that she's not going to move in with her.
The whole time they're showing this new guy, my wife is like, oh, that's her old boyfriend. That's her old boyfriend. That's her old boy. I'm like, no, it's a different fucking guy. She's like, but she was so convinced, like, that's the same fucking guy. And I'm like, no, it's fucking not. And then they do a side-by-side photo comparison finally, and it's like they look exactly the same, and they're both in bands. So I see why she was confused, but
yeah,
Paige definitely has a type.
Yes, she does. She does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alicia Fox has a housewarming party, and she invites Paige and her new boyfriend to this housewarming party. And Alicia Fox starts drinking, and then just starts calling this guy out, and just calling out Paige. But at one point, she called her new boyfriend, what was it, like, little...
Her old boyfriend's name was Bradley.
Okay.
So she called her new boyfriend Bradley Jr.
Like, to his face. Like, sitting next to him on the couch, and she's all drunk. Yeah, so that was fun. And that was pretty much the story of Paige and Alicia Fox. Like, yeah. Oh, and you find out later that Alicia Fox still has a thing for Wade Barrett. Yeah. At least someone does. At least someone does.
That's the only way he's getting over.
But this is where the gold of the episode was. Like the Natty thing, that was entertaining. But the gold was Daniel Bryan. So, pretty much, Daniel Bryan doesn't like Nikki. Like, at all. He says that he does just because he's married to, Nikki's twin sister. But you could tell, like, if it was not for that, Daniel Bryan would never talk to Nikki Bella ever. Ever. Just from things that he said. Like, in the past, like, about, like, that kind of personality, like, on Tough Enough. And he just sits there and he just makes fun of her. Just hardcore. Like, at one point, they're, like, at a dinner table. And Bree and Daniel are trying to have a baby. And Nikki's like, wouldn't it just be weird if, like, tomorrow, like, you guys found out Bree was pregnant? And they're like, not really. But
here's a question for you.
Yes.
So, from what I've heard, and I could be wrong on this, but Brie Bella was never as quite as hippie as she is now. Daniel Bryan sort of transformed her into that.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think the case would have been different? Like, let's say we go back and Daniel Bryan ends up hooking up with Nikki. Do you think Nikki would be in Brie's situation right now and be turning herself into a hippie just to get with Daniel Bryan and his money?
I don't think so.
No? You think she's that...
Yeah.
That type of person.
Yeah, she's too. Yes.
But yeah, if her only path to money is pretending to be a hippie and leeching off of him, I don't know. I think she would have did it for the money. Because at the time didn't they get let go at one point?
Yeah. Yeah. Like Daniel Bryan is like one of those guys, like you were saying, like, it's not how much you make, but how much you save or how much you put away. He's one of those guys that lives by that. Like he bought a house. But the thing is, like, he doesn't go overboard with it. Right. Right. But the best part, though, was, like, he was just calling Nikki a loser. Like, over half the time that they were talking, he's like, "You're just a loser."
Yeah, he said straight to her face with a serious tone, "You're a failure."
Yeah, at one point they were like, in like the makeup room before something. And it was just Nikki and Brian and the makeup people. And Nikki said something and Brian just started going off on her. And she's like, I care about the environment. He's like, "No, you don't. You just care about buying stuff." He's like, you just feel better because you like to think that you care about the planet, but all you do is go out and buy stuff. He's like, and what's going to happen to all that stuff when you're done with it? Like, it was just really funny. Like, he was like, getting like all sorts of pissed off.
Yeah, because it's one thing to go and spend the money and be like that, and then there's another thing when you do that and then you pretend that you're like all green,
Right.
You're just being a hypocrite about it. And that's what pisses him off, mainly, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, so, yeah, Total Divas. Good times as always. Yeah, I definitely suggest it. But I think we're going to call it an end here.
Sounds good to me.
All right. And let me get some quick plugs in here, then we'll get out of here. So you can find us on Facebook.com/On the Network Podcast, or on the networkpodcast.com, or on the network podcast @gmail.com. If you are listening to us via SoundCloud, you can also find us on iTunes and Stitcher. Go ahead, hit subscribe, leave us some ratings on iTunes. It'll be much appreciated. You can find me on Twitter at rstrahs, RSTRAHS, and a couple podcasts that I suggest you listening to would be, let's see, we have Geeks of the Industry with Chunky Larry, Face the Music with Joe and Amy. It's a new podcast where they talk to local musicians in South Carolina. It's a pretty good idea and a good podcast as well. Wrestling Soup with Mission Joey Numbers, and BB and BC podcast with Mike and Iris. That show is really fun. It's, if you like just bad B movies, ranging from slasher movies to just weird exploitation movies, they'll talk about it at some point, I'm sure. Yeah. Other than that, I think that's it. All right.
All right. Have a good night.